James Chinowitz, your Porsche guy here at Porsche Nashua, and today I'm going to show you the all-new 2019 Porsche Cayenne. Now at first glance, this vehicle may look somewhat similar to the previous generation. We've got a black 2018 right behind there, but you couldn't be more wrong. You see, literally everything in this vehicle has changed. All new engine, all new transmission, all new braking system, new wheel choices, new colors, and all new interior with absolutely cutting-edge technology. This vehicle is completely different. So, let's take a closer look, and I'll show you why this is the spiciest Porsche Cayenne yet.
So here we are talking about the third and latest generation of the incredible Porsche Cayenne. And incredible it is. But I feel compelled to tell you about the first generation Cayenne, the vehicle that everyone said was a huge mistake back in 2002. Yet since its launch in 2003, the Porsche Cayenne has been nothing short of a massive success for the brand, selling 750,000 vehicles during the last 17 years. The critics all thought a sports car company had no business making an SUV. Well, I think we all know just how wrong they were. Porsche can make an SUV better than anyone, and we have a pretty good handle on off-roading too. Remember the 953 and the Dakar? Yeah, this sports car company won that little race back in 1984. Oh, and then there was the 959 taking first and second place in 1986. Yeah, we definitely know a thing or two about all-wheel drive and off-roading. Knowing the advantages of such an all-wheel drive system, such as Porsche Traction Management, we took that technology from those legendary race cars and put it on our production 911. The result? We blew the doors off the competition, taking our knowledge of four-wheel drive that was so successful in the 911 and using it to create a super cool, sporty SUV really makes a whole hell of a lot of sense. But the Cayenne is so much more than an SUV. It is an SUV born from sports cars, and this is more apparent than ever in the all-new 2019. Every aspect of the new Cayenne is so much better than you can even imagine. So much is new and improved actually, and by such a large margin, it shares almost nothing with the last car, save for the name and similar dimension. So much has changed, I received an 800+ page PDF describing all of the many incredible enhancements. I'm serious, there's that much to talk about. Now, though I won't take the many hours it would take to describe all of those 800 pages, I would like to give you the abbreviated version and describe to you the biggest reasons why this car is truly awesome, and as the name implies, is indeed one very hot pepper.
So looking at the front end of the vehicle, you'll notice quite a bit of difference here. We've got all new LED lights right here in the slats, all new front end, new front bumper, and standard LED headlights that are incredibly bright. These used to be an option in the second generation, now standard in the third. A little bit more streamlined hood, just an absolutely beautiful design. So here we are under the hood, and if you ask me, this is where the most significant and important changes have occurred for this vehicle. We've got an all-new engine that provides a tremendous amount of advantages over the previous generation back in 2018. Now this motor, first and foremost, is mounted much lower in the vehicle because we have a new crankcase design that accommodates that. That provides a lower center of gravity and vastly superior handling than the previous model. Now the other thing about this motor is it's turbocharged. That's a really big deal for a couple different reasons. First and foremost, torque. We've got more torque, we've got more horsepower, but the best thing I would say is how soon that torque is delivered. So peak torque in this vehicle is 1,340 RPM. That's just barely above idle. In contrast, the previous generation produced its peak torque at 3,000 RPM. That's a big difference. Now, while we're talking about turbos, people often think, well, a turbocharger is going to provide turbo lag. Yeah, not so much. This utilizes a hot V configuration where the turbocharger is actually mounted within the cylinder banks, providing a very short exhaust manifold. That short exhaust manifold means those exhaust gases get to the turbocharger much quicker, providing near instantaneous throttle response. This car moves. Add to that, we've got additional 35 horsepower and 37 pound-feet of torque over the last model. It provides 1.6 seconds quicker 0 to 60 time than the last car. And let me tell you, you absolutely feel that. Now the other cool thing about what's going on under here is the new transmission. So the transmission, it's not a PDK like what we see in the Macan, 911, Cayman, and so on. It's a Tiptronic, but they call it a Tiptronic S. It's significantly quicker than the previous transmission, though it still accommodates a 7,700 pound towing capacity. So very, very cool stuff. Also with that Tiptronic S transmission, not only do you have quicker shift times, but you also have the ability to use performance start if the vehicle is equipped with Sport Chrono. Now the performance start, it's not quite launch control, but it's darn close to it and shaves 0.2 off your 0 to 60. 0 to 60 in this car is going to be about 6 seconds. Pretty darn quick. So down here we're going to talk about another very big change. And by very big, I mean very big. So we're talking about the brakes, not the wheels, though the wheels are very cool. This is a new 21-inch Spider design wheel, available for the first time in 2019. There's a lot of new wheel choices. I'm not going to bore you with wheels. These brakes, though, are unbelievable. So these are the new PSCBs, not to be confused with PCCBs. The PSCBs stands for Porsche Surface Coated Brakes, and by surface coated, they mean tungsten coated. So that's what's providing this high gloss finish. So you get this mirror-like finish after about 2,000 miles after the break-in period. This vehicle here is a demonstrator, so you can see what these look like. They won't be quite this shiny when new. But the cool thing about this more than anything is it provides virtually no brake dust whatsoever, hence the white paint. You can get away with white paint. 30% better durability, and significantly better braking surface, being that it's so smooth. The other cool thing is a lot of brakes, you get rust buildup very, very quickly. If you ever washed your car, you may have noticed in a matter of, maybe a minute or two, you already have this fine sheen of rust building. That's not going to happen here. These are completely rust-free, so they'll always look absolutely beautiful. The other cool thing about the brakes, though, is these calipers here, obviously they're ginormous, but they're 10 piston calipers. Let me tell you, these bite hard. So at the rear of the vehicle, you can really tell that this is an all-new redesign. This is probably the most significant exterior change, different from the previous 2018. I love this new striking taillight design. These, of course, are LEDs, but they're just beautiful. And I like this too. So those of you that have detailed your Porsches, or maybe you wax your car, it's a real bear to get around all those little letters. Well, Porsche solved this because they put the lettering right behind the lens. Looks very sharp. Just a beautiful rear end of this vehicle. So moving into the inside of the new Cayenne, it becomes very clear that this is indeed an all-new model. Everything is new inside here. So we've got an all-new 12-inch PCM display. We've got an all-new gauge cluster with twin 7-inch TFT displays. We've got an all-new, much lower dash, providing significantly superior visibility over the previous model. And we've got this beautiful new center console here as well, which provides these cool buttonless buttons. So much like the Panamera, there are no buttons here. There's just kind of a screen backlit in the way that a button would show. But when you push it, you get this great feedback letting you know that you did indeed push something. Really cool, really cutting edge, really modern look. Love it. Of course, we have a new transmission shifter as well. And some people don't like this because you don't really have a park. You've got a park button. Everybody's going to it. And once you get adapted, you get used to it.
Alright, so we're driving this all-new Cayenne, and let me tell you, there's a few things that you notice right off the bat. First of all, the seat is just incredibly comfortable. This 14-way seat fits me just right. The seating position, the location of all the controls, everything just makes sense. Very, very easy to operate even while you're driving. The second thing that you're going to notice is, oh my god, these brakes.
That's not what I meant to say. These brakes are so ridiculously responsive. They'll throw you for a loop every time. These, of course, are the PSCBs, the Porsche surface coated brakes. They are optional. It's about a $3,500 option. Don't quote me on that. It's plus or minus a couple bucks, but it's approximately 3,500 bucks. Those brakes just bite so hard, no matter how you modulate your foot pressure. It's more than what you would expect. We'll leave it at that. Okay, anyway. So what I meant to say is the second thing that you really notice in the vehicle is just how incredibly well composed it is. This does not feel like a typical SUV. It's incredibly responsive, it handles much more like a car, and it just exudes absolute confidence. If there's an obstacle in the road and you need to get around it, no worries. If you're taking a corner maybe a little too fast, no worries. You don't feel like you're gonna roll this thing over. It really does handle like an SUV born from sports cars. Truly is incredible. Significantly lighter, it's 150 pounds lighter, and that combined with the revised suspension and the lower center of gravity provides an absolutely phenomenal handling characteristic that's unlike any SUV I've ever driven. The steering, mind you, is an all-new electromechanical design that's about 10 to 15% more direct. However, there's a feedback controller that gives you that Porsche feel that you would expect in a vehicle such as this. So the third thing that you're really going to notice when driving this vehicle is its power and responsiveness. As I mentioned, this is an all-new motor sourced somewhat from the Panamera, though tweaked a little bit differently. Produces 37 more pound-feet of torque, 35 additional horsepower, and best of all, that torque comes on at a ridiculous 1,340 RPM, which is just obscenely low. Zero turbo lag, and then that mated with the Tiptronic S transmission that's significantly quicker in how it shifts, as well as the 150 pounds weight savings. This vehicle's acceleration is nothing like the last car. 1.6 seconds quicker to 60, and this will get there in 5.6 seconds when equipped with the Sport Chrono package. If you need a little bit more get up and go, there's the S model. That'll get there in 4.6 seconds. And if you need even more power, the turbo, which will be coming down the line shortly, gets there in just 3.7 seconds. Unbelievable. So here we go. That's about as instant gets. And we're breaking the law. That's outstanding. I mean, it's just absolutely effortless. It's linear, it's forceful, and exciting. When was the last time you had an SUV that excited you? This Cayenne is exciting. It's an absolute blast to drive. It's comfortable, it's spacious, it's refined, it's luxurious. It literally covers all the bases. It has everything that anybody would be looking for in a sporty SUV. After all, SUV stands for Sport Utility Vehicle. It should be sporty, right? So Porsche, they do it better than anybody, and they absolutely delivered with this all-new Cayenne. Now the other thing that this car really has going for it, other than its comfort, its responsiveness, its outstanding handling characteristics, is its technology. The technology in this car is second to none. It's actually the most advanced car in our entire lineup at the moment. And that all really comes from this new PCM 5.0. It looks very similar to the Panamera PCM. It's the same dimension, same general layout, but this is significantly more advanced. And the big key feature here is Voice Pilot. Now let me ask you this, when was the last time you had a voice recognition that you were truly happy with, that worked the way you think it should work? Worked like, say, Siri, for instance? Probably never. This car, however, has the best voice recognition of any vehicle I have ever experienced, and I truly mean that. It is not an exaggeration. So what makes Voice Pilot different? Well, Voice Pilot is a conversational voice recognition that's cloud-based and offers far better voice recognition than any other system that's vehicle-based as in the past. Basically anything that you can ask the car, it will understand. And you can say things that are vague, like I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and the car will understand you. Additionally, if you have a little bit of an accent, whether it be a charming British accent or maybe a European accent of some sort, not a problem. The car will understand you. I've had numerous people that have had voice recognitions in other vehicles, not had them work, jumped in the Cayenne, and they were astonished to find out how well this vehicle worked. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to work for everybody. It may not, but it is a huge improvement over the voice recognitions that we've enjoyed in the past. So let me demonstrate just how good this voice recognition is by doing something that you've probably never done in your car.
I'm not even going to ask it a question. I'm going to make a statement. I have to pee.
Searching for next restroom. Please select a line number.
Line 1.
POI was accepted. Would you like to start route guidance?
No, thank you.
All right.
So the voice recognition is so good in this car, I feel obligated to be polite. Unreal. Not only did it understand my statement, but solve the problem effortlessly the first time and with a vague conversational command, if you want to even call it a command. It was a statement. Absolutely unbelievable. This voice recognition totally changes the game. So you know where I stand on this vehicle. Porsche nailed it. The car's fun to drive, it's responsive, it's quick, it handles like an absolute dream, it's luxurious, it's comfortable, the fit and finish is second to none. It's just a phenomenal car in every way, shape, and form, and it's quiet and it looks great. But, as much as I love this car, if this is something that you're considering, you really need to experience it for yourself. I highly encourage you to come down, spend a little bit of time with me. Let's go out for a drive so you can learn firsthand what makes this the very best Cayenne that's ever been made, and I dare say the best luxury SUV on the market today in this segment. This is just a phenomenal car. Porsche truly